Hello and welcome to another video in Windows Server 2025 video series. In this demo section, we are going to see how to prepare a Windows Server as a storage and then connect to the Hyper-V. So the objective of this section is to learn to practice Hyper-V failover clustering. But preparing a Windows Server as a storage, which I already demonstrated in the previous section, and you know how to configure a server to Hyper-V, you already know how to run a virtual machine in a shared storage, in an iSCSI shared storage. But as we all need to repeat these steps as a part of this failover cluster, I'm going to show it again from the perspective of a Hyper-V failover cluster. To practice this demo, we need a domain controller. Then also we need two Hyper-V servers, then a storage server. Then we add two additional disk other than the operating system, a 100 GB disk for storing the virtual machine. Then we're going to use disk witness for the quorum, so we're going to add additional 1 GB, and this will be shared and connected to the Hyper-V using SCSI protocol. So the virtual machines running on the Hyper-V, it will be running in the hypervisor, but the virtual machine files like VM disk and VM files will be stored in the storage. So if Hyper-V 1 failed, then the virtual machine can run in Hyper-V 2 because the dependencies are in the storage. It just need to shift the computing to the Hyper-V 2 server. Now I'm accessing the storage server and I want to add two disks. So the plan is to have one disk for virtual machine files and one for the quorum, right? So this machine is running in VMware Workstation, and I can add a hard disk from the settings by clicking add, then select hard disk. Then I'm gonna add my first hard disk. So here I'm gonna give the capacity as 100 GB. Then the next one I'm gonna prepare for the quorum, which will be less because quorum requirement is limited to 1 GB. So the second disk, now I'm going to add the second disk. Here I'm gonna give 2 GB, then click finish. Now I have two new hard disk added. The next step is to create volumes on top of the disk, the physical disk added. You can see two new disk with the partition shown as unknown. Let's turn the disk to online first, then create a new volume. So as we know that the 2 GB disk is going to be used as a quorum, so you can label it accordingly so that it will be easy for you to understand. Otherwise, we need to look at the size always. Now close the wizard. Then bring the second disk online, then create a new volume on the new disk. Let's complete the wizard. You can give a meaningful name here. So as this is going to be a cluster disk, you can put something like a CSV01, something like that, then complete the wizard. So now the volume has created on top of the new disk added. Next, I'm going to create iSCSI shared disk. For that, from the same server manager, go to the SCSI, then create SCSI virtual disk. So I selected the Quorum Disk first. Give a meaningful name for the virtual disk. So here, before you do this, make sure that you installed iSCSI target in your roles and managers, because we did this when we were explaining the storage part. We did already this, that's why I skipped it, but you have to make sure that you installed the iSCSI target. Now you can name the access, the target name, and access you can name here. So give a meaningful name. This is going to be used for Hyper-V cluster. So I'm going to give Hyper-V cluster, then click next. So here you want to add the access. So we have two Hyper-V machines, Hyper-V 1 and Hyper-V 2. But before you add this here, you need to switch to the Hyper-V servers and make sure that you enabled iSCSI Initiator. We explained this very well in the last videos when we were doing the iSCSI demo, but I'm just repeating it. iSCSI Initiator should be enabled. You can enable it before you even doing this on that wizard, but this is the point where if you didn't enable the iSCSI Initiator, you're gonna face errors. So that's why I'm explaining at that point to know that what exactly the purpose of iSCSI Initiator. Go to the tools, then from there you will see iSCSI Initiator. When first time you click on it, it will prompt a small pop-up window. You just need to click yes, and second time if you open it, the tool will show you the options. So you don't need to configure anything at the moment. This is a domain joined Hyper-V 1. Then we can switch to the Hyper-V 2 and also repeat the same. Switching to the second Hyper-V server, Hyper-V 2, Hyper-V server 2. I have logged in. Then once the server manager is available, then go to the tools and repeat the same step. So here also, if you are doing this first time, then once you click on the tools, you find iSCSI Initiator, then click on that, it pop up a small window, then you repeat the same, then you will see the right configuration window. Now let's switch to the storage server. We added the domain DNS name of both the servers. iSCSI Initiator is enabled and we completed the wizard. Now the disk that we created, the Quorum disk that we created, have access to both Hyper-V servers. We are going to repeat the same now for the VM disk, the cluster disk that we created. So here also give a meaningful name, then you can assign a size. The maximum is 100 GB, so I assigned 99 GB, and you can see the largest access that we created is already there. So I don't want to repeat the step again. Instead, I can select one of the existing saved iSCSI Initiator target access configuration. So I'm going to select Hyper-V cluster, which I created in the previous Quorum disk iSCSI share configuration. Then I can complete the wizard. Finally, click on create and complete the wizard. The next step for us is to connect this disk into hypervisors. So for that, I access the Hyper-V 01. Then from the iSCSI Initiator, I go to the target and I'm going to do a quick connect option. So 143 is the IP address of the storage server. Then just select the discovered target. Then you can click done and OK. Now you will see two new disks available under the disk. You can repeat the same step on the Hyper-V 2 also. That's how we make sure that the disks are connected into both servers. So I'm doing this now on the Hyper-V 2. I connect to both targets, then click OK. Now you will see the disks are available. The next step you only need to perform at one of the server. What we're going to do, we're going to bring the disk online, then format it and create a new volume. But you are not supposed to repeat this on all the Hyper-V servers. You only need to do it at one server. This is very important. You only need to create the volume only on one server because it is same disk, so you don't need to repeat this on the other one. So I select the 90 GB disk, then click OK. Then click next, assign a drive letter, then give a volume. This volume is for VM disk, so you can say CSV disk. Then click next and then click create. Repeat the same for the small disk which we prepared for the quorum. Then complete the wizard. Then close it. So now we are done with the requirement for the iSCSI disk. We completed by connecting the disk from the storage to the hypervisor server. So the prerequisites from the side of a storage is done for the Hyper-V failover cluster. That's all in this video. Let's summarize what we have learned and practiced in this demo. We created two disks, one for the virtual machine files and second for the quorum. Then we connected this disk to the hypervisors. How we connected? We created the disk at the storage server. We shared it over SCSI protocol, and we enable the SCSI initiator on the hypervisor servers. Then we provide access to those initiators at the storage server. And once the access completed, we able to bring the hard disk online at the hypervisors, the remote hard disk, and we able to create a volume on top of it. That is what we have done so far. We'll complete the other steps required for hypervisor failover cluster in the coming videos. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.